Welcome to the MLB.com Beat Writers Inbox, presented by Edward Jones. I'm Ian Browne, the MLB.com Red Sox beat writer, and with Mimi asking the questions. Mimi, what do we have first?
All right, first teeing up, we have Daniel. Will the Sox look up to upgrade third base? Devers has had tons of potential, but he's had a rough time at the plate and in the field. Are they exploring options to help make a deep playoff run?
No, they're really not. Look, Rafael Devers is 21 years old. He had a great start last year, and teams are making adjustments on him now. They have a full scouting report, and he just needs to adjust back to them. He's already got, I think, 8 home runs. His defense has been inconsistent, but they fully expect as the season goes on, he's just going to keep getting better. They have him batting 7th or 8th in the batting order right now, so there's not too much pressure on him. Look, the Red Sox have the best record in baseball with Rafael Devers playing third base, so they're not really worried about him. They think he's going to be fine.
All right, our next question comes from Josh. Given the recent success of HECTOR VELÁZQUEZ as a starter and Drew Pomeranz struggles, what do you think about switching Pomeranz to the bullpen and VELÁZQUEZ as a 5th starter in the rotation? You
know, I think HECTOR VELÁZQUEZ is more somebody they like to swing back and forth between the bullpen and the rotation when needed. Second game of a doubleheader type of guy. They're going to give Drew Pomeranz another shot here in Houston on Thursday and see if he can straighten things out. You know, you can only give him so many more chances. He's only been going about 4 innings a start right now. But I think that if they decide to part with Pomeranz or move him out of the rotation, I really think that, Stephen Wright is the guy who will be first up out of the bullpen and will get that start. Stephen's a guy who was an all-star starter for the Red Sox 2 years ago, so that's not that long ago. So I think, the Red Sox think that they're best if they can get Pomeranz going. And short of that, I think that you'll get Stephen Wright get a chance in that rotation before HECTOR VELÁZQUEZ.
All right, next question comes from Kyle. Should the Red Sox expect this team to get to the World Series with the current roster, or do they need to make changes in order to compete with Houston, Cleveland, and New York?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you look at the Red Sox right now, they're pretty well built to make a deep run. The one area you got to look at right now is the bullpen. Do they have enough to set up Craig Kimbrell right now? I mean, you have Joe Kelly, who's had a really good year. Matt Barnes is pretty good. Heath Hembree kind of hit or miss. And you don't know if Tyler Thornburg is going to come back at some time. You've probably lost Carson Smith for the season here. So I think that the bullpen is the one area. In late July, you saw them get Addison Reed last year. I think that's what they'll be looking to do when you get to that trade deadline. You hope the rest of their rotation after Chris Sale, you hope they'll straighten out and they'll start to pitch a little more consistently. So I'd say the offense is pretty well set. So I'd say if the Red Sox are going to upgrade and maybe add a piece or two, it's going to be with the pitching. But this is a team, as presently constituted, as I said, they have the best record in baseball. They've been in first place pretty much the whole season. There were 2 or 3 days the Yankees were in front. So I think they like the team they have right now.
All right, next up we have Benjamin. Could Betts and JD possibly make another Ortiz-Manny duo? If so, why not use them in the 3 and 4 spots? Benintendi could have the leadoff, and either Pedroia or Bogaerts could have the 2nd spot.
Yeah, it's a good point you make, but Alex Cora is really locked into having Mookie Betts lead off. He loves that George Springer look that Cora saw with the Astros last year. We have a guy with speed and power at the top of the order. He likes the combination, and when Betts is batting first, that means he's going to get to the plate as many times as humanly possible during the game. And they look at Betts more still as a playmaker than a run producer, and they like to spread them out and have Betts first, and then you still have Benintendi second, and whoever you're going to have third. Right now it's JD Martinez, but they could switch around and end up having Bogaerts hitting third. Could be Pedroia hitting third at some point. Whatever the case, if you have Mookie getting on and then you have JD Martinez with guys on base, it's going to lead to good things. And the way Jackie Bradley's been hitting better at the bottom of the order lately, that's going to set up some more RBI opportunities for Betts. So Alex Cora has been pretty adamant that he's going to hit Betts first and Benintendi second the entire season, and we'll see if he holds true to that.
All right, next up is from Chris. Any chance the Sox go after a big arm like Britton to set up for Kimbrell?
Yeah, like we talked about, that setup relief is the one place that the Red Sox really could use some help. And, if Zach Britton if he's amicable to setting up, he would be a great fit because they also don't have much of a left-hander in that bullpen. So it always depends on what the asking price is going to be. The Red Sox don't have many top prospects to trade right now. They've already traded quite a few the last couple of years. So it depends on what Baltimore is looking for. But yeah, I think Zach Britton would actually be a great fit in that Red Sox bullpen, and that could be exactly what they need to kind of give this team the dominant look in the bullpen that they need going forward.
All right, next up is from Clay. How is Mookie?
Yeah, Mookie, he's got some tightness on that left side, and they're really being cautious. Alex Cora said today that, if this was the playoffs, Mookie Betts would be playing. But, they don't want to take any chances with him. He's going to sit today. He's going to sit again tomorrow. I think you'll see Mookie Betts either on Thursday or Friday in Houston because, those side injuries, they can really linger. So if you come back too soon from a side injury and sort of tear that oblique, then you're talking about a DL stint that's going to set you back 2 to 3 weeks, maybe even a month. So they're just going to be as careful as they can right now. Let that thing get back to 100% before he comes back. So I'd look for Mookie Betts in that big series. That's going to be a huge series against the Astros this weekend. Maybe the two best teams, and including the Yankees, 2 out of the 3 best teams in the American League. They're going to be facing off between Thursday to Sunday in Houston. So you really want Mookie to be playing in those games if at all possible.
All right, next question comes from Adam. How come Ramirez was released? He was doing so well.
Yeah, Hanley had a great first month of the season, and, the second month he just wasn't doing anything at all at the plate, and they were sitting Mitch Moreland a lot. So it's just Alex Cora was trying to figure out the best to fit these pieces together. And, Hanley also had that option for next year that was going to be $22 million, if he kept playing a lot. So one guy was going to have to sit, one guy wasn't going to be happy about it. Alex Cora thought that pretty soon they were going to have to start playing Moreland every day, and he didn't think Hanley was going to be happy about it. And Hanley's not the kind of guy who's going to be that happy when he's sitting on the bench, especially when he sees that option for next season sort of slipping away. So they just thought that it was in the best interest of the team, of Mitch Moreland. Also Dustin Pedroia coming back. So you have Eduardo Nunez, who you're trying to get playing time for. You have Brock Holt. You have Blake Swihart. They just thought that this was the best way. All the roster pieces were going to fit together if you decided to part ways with Hanley and have Mitch Moreland play every day.
All right, next up we have Jeff. The MLB draft is next week. Do they go with a college or a high school player?
I think the state of the Red Sox farm system right now, where you don't have a lot of high-impact prospects, I think that you want to get a college guy right now, see if you can get the best college guy you can find, kind of like you do with Andrew Benintendi in 2015. So then you get a guy who's maybe ready to hit the major leagues pretty soon. Look, Benintendi was drafted in 2015, and he was on this team by July 31st of 2016. So I think that maybe they're going to try and find another high-end college player like that. So I think they'll go for a college player with their first pick next week.
All right, next question is from Kevin. Who is the next player they call up from AAA to make their debut?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that Jalen Beeks, is a guy who's pitched really well at AAA. He's put up dominant numbers. So if he can sustain this run that he's on, and you have 1 or 2 other guys in the rotation who are either having injury problems or if they're just inconsistent, then I think Jalen Beeks is a guy you got to give a look at him. This is a guy who's sort of come on strong since they selected him. Late. I think it was a 10th round pick of the draft, and he's really come on each year. So I think that Jalen Beeks is the guy you should keep an eye on right now down at Pawtucket.
All right, next we have Joel. Could the catching position be a big issue going late into the season offensively?
Well, we'll see. I think they do have Blake Swihart on this team, so if they're still not getting any offense from Vasquez or from Sandy Leon, then I think you look at maybe giving Swihart some reps behind the plate. That would solve 2 problems. It would give you a way to get Swihart playing time, and it would solve your catching production problem. Sandy Leon has shown signs lately. He's hit the ball pretty well lately, but they'd like to see Vasquez start to hit the ball like he did last year. They still think it's in him to sort of be able to give a little more offense than he's given, but right now he's just giving them next to nothing at the plate, so they just need Christian Vasquez to give them some better at-bats right now. But, like I said, I think you're more likely to see Swihart see some playing time behind the plate than you are to see the Red Sox trade for a catcher.
All right, next up we have Brad. How far along is Tyler Thornburg?
Well, Tyler Thornburg, they thought he was really far along about a week ago, but then he started having some problems with that shoulder, adjusting, bouncing back from outing to outing. So right now he's on a little bit of a break from his rehab. They're hoping to be able to send him back out and kind of restart that rehab clock this coming Friday, so he can pitch again for Pawtucket. And then hopefully, another week or 2, he'll be good to go. They do have the flexibility of him pitching for 30 days at Pawtucket. So they can keep him down there and just make sure that he's recovering. That thoracic outlet syndrome surgery, as we know, it's very tricky. Guys recover at different speeds from that injury. But, look, Thornburg's going to be a big piece to this bullpen if he can get himself healthy. So they're just going to be patient with him and make sure that when he does come back, he is healthy. He's able to bounce back. He's able to go back-to-back. He's able to pitch 3 or 4 times in a week. So that's what they're at there. But they're hoping he responds and he can at least start pitching in the minor leagues by the end of this week.
All right, next question comes from Ian. How many wins for Sale this season?
Well, he got off to kind of a slow start, not pitching-wise. Pitching-wise, he pitched great, but he was that guy who was the team wasn't generating run support for him, or he was leaving, and the bullpen was kind of having trouble there. So I think that 17, 18 wins for Chris Sale this season. And I want to thank everyone for joining the MLB.com inbox, supported by Edward Jones, and we thank you again. And please tune in again next time. Thank you.